So hello everyone and welcome back to this week's episode of the 1 Point Safety Show with myself, Scott Hartley, and my colleague, Scouse Andy. How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for tonight, man. It's draft night, so let's go.
Exactly, it's draft night. We're not going to mess about here. We're going to do something slightly different. So if you're listening to this on audio, I apologize. Please try and look at the YouTube and you'll see we're doing a mock draft simulator today to try and look at the first round and what we would do in the situation for the whole of the first round for every team. It is draft night, so obviously looking at this, we're thinking to ourselves, do you know what? We'll see what other teams are going to do in the first round. Obviously, everyone's excited for the draft. We're not going to go over our usual segments of news. So as it is, we're recording this slightly earlier than the Thursday. So if there is any news or anything's broken, we apologise and we'll probably follow it up with an emergency pod. But we'll go from there. So then in the 1 Point Safety Show's mock draft for 2023, the first pick for this mock draft is with you, Scouse. We had a bit of an argument there over who was going first, who was picking what. But you're on the board at the moment. You're on the clock with the Carolina Panthers at number 1.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy one going number 1. I think this over the past few weeks it was a lot closer, but then over the past couple of weeks it's got a lot more. I think a lot more easier to kind of know that it's going to be Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama. This guy is he's got everything you want in a quarterback besides one thing, and that's his height. But the guy is just off the charts with everything else. So he's going to be a very good quarterback in this league, and the Panthers now got their guy for the next 10 to 15.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Great pick. Obviously, the consensus pick by most of the mock draft GMs and experts out there are saying now it is Bryce Young. Was CJ Stroud for a while, but it looks like overall it's probably going to be Bryce Young from Alabama. Very, very good pick there, Scouse. So I'm now on the board with Houston at 2. I think I'm going to stick with this pick, actually, and I'm going to pick Will Anderson Jr. Don't think they're going to go QB. I will stick with this.
Wow.
And we'll pick Will Anderson for edge
How come?
out of Alabama. Initially, in our previous off the mock draft when we tested this, I traded out, and I do think this is a prime trade out spot. I think someone like the Colts could trade up to 2 to pick a quarterback, but for me, Will Anderson Jr., you're getting the best player in the entire draft at edge there. I think that's the pick they're going to go. DeMeco Ryans in as the new head coach of the Texans is going to take that 49ers philosophy across on defense and use that to build around. And obviously, the Texans have been horrible for a few years, and if they're horrible again this year, you're in the sweepstakes for Caleb Wilson or Williams, even, aren't you, next year? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big call. I mean, because normally you'd be thinking straight away, you're thinking, CJ Stroud there. If no way, I've heard some rumors about that. That he's basically got the same agent as Deshaun Watson. So I think that can definitely put the Houston Texans off. So a great pick there, to be fair.
Right, you're on the board then with the Arizona Cardinals. What are you doing at this if you're the Cardinals GM? Are you taking calls, Scouse?
I'm taking calls. I'm definitely taking calls. And I think they are going to resist. They're going to resist. Actually, after seeing the Will Anderson go 2, I was going to go Will Anderson at 3 because they need an edge. And I think corner's too high at 3, I think. I know Jeff Okudah went a couple of years back at 3, but I just think so. I'm going to try and trade out of this, to be fair.
Okay. We're going to propose a trade then. Who are you going to propose a trade then with?
Who's only a couple of things away? Oh, how about this? Kansas City.
Oh, that is a big trade coming up then. Let's try that.
It's going to be a big one.
Try that. So Kansas City. So you're currently giving away the 3rd pick in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City currently has 31 in the draft. Yep. So you're taking 31.
Yep.
And next year's first.
And next year's second. And say a fourth or a fifth this time round as well.
You got 1,
Fourth.
2, 2, or maybe even 95, a third.
Yeah, 95 and 1, 3, 4 probably. You're going to have to absolutely blast this to get it up there.
Okay, let's try that then.
So try that and see if it comes with.
Accepted. So Kansas City Chiefs move up to 3 in the draft, giving away an absolute mountain. Who are you picking here?
Now everyone's going to think, oh, what are you doing going this far up from the Kansas City Chiefs? Why are you going so far up? And you only go up that far for a quarterback. No, not this time, bro. Not this time. Obviously, you got Pat Mahomes. You definitely don't need a quarterback there. But I think they're going to go up and they're going to take Paris Johnson.
That's a lot to take Paris Johnson, man. But okay.
They need a tackle, and a lot of teams need a tackle, and I don't think there's no one better than Paris Johnson. So
total left guard of the future, but you would have hoped though.
Left guard? No, he's gonna. I think he's still gonna stick. He's still gonna stick a tackle. I understand.
Left what I meant. Yeah.
I understand it. No, they've hired. They let what's his name go?
Orlando.
Orlando Brown went. I know they've kind of replaced him with the guy from Jacksonville, but to be fair, he played right tackle last year, and I think that if you get this guy alongside and keep the other guy on right tackle, or swap him over, depending on who's playing better at that time. Kansas City are laughing now for the next, again, 5 to 10 years, on the offensive line.
Wow. Okay, so I'm on the board now with the Indianapolis Colts at pick 4, and they are going to be absolutely laughing their way to the bank if this rolls out. I think they take CJ Stroud here, desperate for a quarterback. I think they would have probably traded up for it. I am hearing a lot of talk, and whether it's just talk and smoke, we know what it's like. It's smoke season because it's the off season, and journalists love clicks and they try to get things out. They're really in love with Will Levis, and I've also seen quite a few mock drafts putting them down as having Anthony Richardson as well. But that tends to be when the top 2 have already gone. So I'm going to take CJ Stroud here, and it looks like they get their signal caller for at least the next 5 to possibly 10 years as well. And that's a great move for the Indianapolis Colts. He's got all the keys, all the attributes that you need from a quarterback. Size is there. The speed is there still. Not so much of a runner, but the accuracy he's probably the most accurate quarterback we have in this draft. So that moves on then to 5, pick 5, Scouse, and you're on the board with the Seahawks.
Now, this is interesting here because I think they can go 2 ways with this one. Some of their needs is a defensive tackle. And Jalen Carter is probably the best player actually in the draft. He has got some off-field issues, though, and that's probably the reason why he might go here, he might not. And the other one, as well as that, you could look into looking at the quarterback for the future as well, because Gino, he's only a one-hit wonder, let's face it. He's been a career backup his whole career. Last year, he balled out. How often has he got? How many more years has he got at that level? I don't know. 1 or 2 years could be the ceiling for him. So the perfect pick here is Anthony Richardson, Florida.
And are you going Anthony Richardson then?
I'm going Anthony Richardson. He's got 2 years to learn behind Gino, and then by that time he'll be ready to go.
Great pickup again. I mean, everything you want from a quarterback, really. If you were looking for that dynamic quarterback who can run, he's just almost a Lamar Jackson.
Just an accuracy problem.
Yeah,
that's his problem at the moment. But I think if you give him 2 years learning under Gino, and hopefully don't have to play him sooner than that, because they got an out after 2 years. You see, with the contract that Gino signed, I think it'd be perfect fit.
So I'm on the board then with the Detroit Lions, and the kneecap biters are going to be absolutely delighted that this draft has fallen the way it's fell. They are taking arguably the best DT and probably a lot will say the best player in the draft as well, in Jalen Carter. I know he has the off-field issues. I totally understand he's there, but you watch his tape, man. If he plays anything like he played in college, they're getting an absolute stud. That is quite honestly going to be quite a scary defense when we look at that because Aiden Hutchinson balled out last year, and now you're adding on to that Jalen Carter. That is going to be. They're having a bit of a story up there in Detroit. I'll be honest with you. I think they are going to be a sneaky playoff team to look for this year. Definitely.
They are a good. They look a good side, man, and their coaching staff is very good. So yeah, I can definitely see big strides again this year for Detroit, barring injuries.
So you're on the board then, Scouse, with the Raiders.
Yeah. So for me, this one's going to be a little bit easier, purely because they are going to need a quarterback again in the next year to two, because they've got Jimmy G, but I just don't think he's going to last it. He's always injury prone. For me, it's Will Levis, QB from Kentucky.
Yeah,
it'll give him a year. It'll give him a year to 2 years max to kind of really get to grips with the system, and I think he'll be ready to go. He'll be perfect for them.
Absolute fantastic pick there, Scouse. I actually think this is genuinely going to be happening in real life. But then the Raiders do Raiders things. They pick up some absolute randomer from nowhere that nobody even thinks
that is
a first rounder. If the previous years are going off, but again, it depends on who's making the pick. Is it Mark Davis, the owner, who's making the pick there?
Usually is.
And he's got a cracking haircut. Or is this going to be the coaching staff making the pick? I think, Will Levis. He sits behind that McDaniel's offense, and I think he's going to be okay. 2 years learning behind Jimmy G. That's a good pickup. That's a really good pickup. So I'm back on the board at 8 with the Atlanta Falcons. I am not trading out of this pick at all. I'm looking at this and thinking to myself, your biggest need in the entire draft is corner. And look at that. The best corner in the entire draft is on the board still in Christian Gonzalez. I'm absolutely gutted because I want him at Washington. But hey-ho, he falls to the Falcons. They're laughing all the way to the bank. They're literally sprinting that card up to the podium.
Yeah.
And Christian Gonzalez is moving to Atlanta.
Great pick. And to be fair, you should see that with the addition of Gonzalez, you should see the DB room now, man. The back end is class. They got a guy in free agency. I can't remember his name now, top of my head, and they've also got a very good guy at corner already there.
Did they not pick up Okudah as well? Jeff Okudah?
And Okudah as well. Yeah. So if he's healthy, again, this should be happy days for them. I just think they're going to have a cracking team this year. Just depends if they can all meld together and win straight away, or it's going to take them time. I don't know, but yeah, really good pick there, I think.
So you're up next then with the Chicago Bears, and this is them from trading down in the draft. They're at 9. So who are you picking at 9 for the Bears then, Scouse?
I mean, the Bears have got so many needs. However, one of their biggest needs is edge, and for me, the next best edge after Will Anderson is Tyree Wilson. So
Wilson.
So edge from Texas Tech, yeah, definitely. Great pick up there. I think if Jalen Carter doesn't get picked at Detroit, I think the Bears will probably go Carter first over Wilson. However, being that he's gone, I think Wilson's their next in line.
I think Tyree Wilson, when you look at his tape and you watch what he's doing, it's the bend that gets it for me. He's got that bend that you want from an edge, especially when he's coming off the right side. 100%. I mean, he's played off both sides as well. He can go left, he can go off the left, he can go off the right. Yeah, that's a really good pick. For me, if it was me in the Chicago's place there, I would have probably gone tackle there, just because I think they got to shore up that offensive line for.
I mean, I always think of it with them because they've got an actual elusive quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Tackles, even though they are very important, they're not as important, if that makes sense, because he's always running anyway. So
you've got to keep Fields up, though, haven't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to go pick 9 at that position, if that makes sense. I know the tackle does drop off after towards the end of this first rounder, but. I still think that they can pick a good one up in the second round.
So you're up then, or is it me? It's me up. You just picked for the Bears. I apologize. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at defense here, and I know I've got the Eagles. Great. The Eagles are edge and running back, and you could look at that board and you could say you've probably got Lucas Van Ness, you've got Miles Murphy still there, but I'm going to go out here on a limb and I'm going to say they pick up Bijan Robinson. Sorry, Keith, if you're listening.
That's a nightmare pick for us. That though, again, as in like he's in our division, man, and that's not great. But yeah, I mean, excellent running back, but yeah,
generational talent there. Bijan Robinson out of Texas, best consensus running back off the board. He will definitely be a first round pick, no doubt about it. Where he goes, nobody knows. I mean, he could go from anywhere from 2 all the way down to the bottom end of the first round. He's a very, very good running back. And he sticks him in our division. Not great at all. So what we'll do is we'll try and no worries. Try and scroll down a bit here if I can get it to work. I don't know how I scroll. Come on. Awful. Come on, scroll down. Nope, not doing it that way. So who is at 11, Scott? Stop. What's happening now in the settings? Dear me, terrible. If you're watching this, I apologize, even if you're listening.
Can you scroll it down with your mouse, mate?
I'm trying to. It's a laptop. Yeah, laptop. Let's just. I can scroll down there, but I can't seem to scroll down on the actual draft board.
There we go. There we go, mate.
There we go. Just got to click on it. There you go. So at 11, then we've got the Tennessee Titans, and you're up on the board.
Can you bring up the list higher up, mate?
Yeah, up here. Yeah, I can go all. Oh, back up a bit more. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Still got tackles on the board, still got offense on the board. You let me know where you're picking and we'll look at it.
Well, I think we are definitely going to be going offensive tackle here. And I do think I'm going to go with Broderick Jones.
Taking Broderick Jones, right. Good offensive tackle. Is he a left tackle, or would you say he is out and out right tackle?
Yeah, I think he's more of a right tackle, but again, like he can play both, can't he? Because he has done it before in college. But for me, it's Broderick Jones, right tackle. See where they go from there. They also lost Tyler Lewan as well, didn't he? Remember?
Yeah, Tyler Lewan. He retired, didn't he? I think.
Yeah. He went off with injury, didn't he? First, and I don't know if he retired or he got cut. I can't remember, but definitely need some beef. Actually, yeah. They need some beef on that offensive line. So yeah, give me Broderick Jones.
So Houston are back on the board for their second pick, and in the first pick they took Will Anderson Jr. So for me, looking at Houston, they've ticked that edge box. The other immediate need was quarterback. I don't think they go quarterback. I mean, who's on the board at the minute? Tanner McKee, really?
Can you scroll up higher than that, mate?
I'm trying to. It's way low. Hendon Hooker's like 42 there.
Is he the last decent one left on the board?
Yeah, he's the last one
like,
before.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they go Hendon Hooker there.
No, it's way too high, man. Way too high.
We've had a defensive pick. What's in the? Do they need? They need a offensive tackle. It's tough.
To be fair,
I know
they need everywhere. To be honest, so
okay,
can't go too far wrong.
I didn't go too far wrong. It took me a little while to get there. Let's look at Jackson Smith-Njigba. Great wide receiver. Let's take Njigba out of the way. Best consensus wide receiver out of the draft.
I think that's all. I would have picked for them as well at 12. To be fair.
Yeah. So let's go back to all, and then we're back up at the top now. So the Jets are at 13 now. We're going to say that the Jets are still here at 13, but I'm not sure if this 13 pick goes to the Green Bay Packers because of the Aaron Rodgers trade, or if it ends up with something else. I mean, he has come out today and said it's the Jets or nothing. You know, I'm literally not coming back. He's not turned up to OTAs or any of that stuff for.
That's it. And this pick will. I mean, more than likely it will change on the night as well. Literally, like probably 5 minutes before it even it's their turn. That's what will probably happen. But if it stays the way it is, for me, you're picking Darnell Wright, tackle.
Okay, let's look at Darnell Wright.
Offense, mate.
Oh, yeah, that's why. OT. Darnell Wright
from
out of
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Now, again, this could change. Darnell Wright could be going in at 11 for Roger Jones's. Do you know what I mean? Like that could be the way it could go. But everything Tennessee take a tackle, and obviously if Jets stay, they're taking a tackle. But realistically, that's going to be Green Bay's pick. To be fair.
So New England need a lot, and I'm on the board with New England. They need wide receiver, they need edge, they need interior defensive line, and they need corner. Now the corners are on a bit of a downturn here, and they've not many corners have gone off the board so far. So for me, I think we're looking at these corner board, and I think they're picking Devon Witherspoon. I think he's also long, lengthy. Looking at him, he's very much almost like another offensive tackle on the team while you're there. Best blocker in the game in that position at corner. Corner, what am I talking about? Devon Witherspoon. I was talking about tight ends. It's the other one. So yeah, Devon Witherspoon.
Devon Witherspoon's a corner from Illinois.
He is. He's
a great corner. Yeah, he's a great corner.
He is a great corner.
Yeah, I mean, his speed isn't like prolific, but he plays fast, and he's going to be an excellent player in this league.
I was thinking of Darnell Washington. I think Washington. I was thinking, of. And that's what got me confused. Tight end. Yeah, there you go. But they do need a tight end as well. They need a lot
of places. They need a lot of places at the moment.
That could be a Kincaid spot there, really. You know what I mean? That could be where
tight end. It's too high for a tight end in this draft, I think, because a couple of good ones. There isn't just one. Do you know what I mean? So you could definitely wait a bit.
So you're on the board then at 15 with Green Bay.
Now with Green Bay, they have a few needs like everybody else, but wide receiver or tight end. Now again, this is where I think tight end does come off the board, and this is where I think it's going to be Kincaid that comes off.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Another great pickup. Yeah. I mean, you don't rate Kincaid that much. You said he's got a glass back.
Yeah, he's got a glass back, but when he's healthy, he's obviously a quality tight end. He's got all the tools that you need, and Green Bay need another receiving threat for Jordan Love. So, I mean, they could easily go wide receiver there, but for me, I think they go for tight end, and I think they go Kincaid.
Yeah. Now I've got the honor of picking the Commanders, so please don't hate me. Whatever this pick is.
Don't mess this up, bro.
I am looking at this, and there's one name that's standing out for me straight away off that board. Do I do it? I don't know. It's Keely Ringo. No, I'm joking. It's not Keely Ringo.
I mean, would you be set on trades here or not?
If this board stayed the way it was, I would not trade out of this as it stands at the minute. I would pick it.
Someone's really standing out to you then.
Yeah,
you think you couldn't get in the next 4 or 5 picks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Skoronski.
Skoronski. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I think he's still the best guard the best tackle stroke guard in the draft going out there. I think he's got the best body of work when you watch his tape. He's also got positional flex, which we know Ron really rates. He could play center, in the long term. I think you're shoring up the offensive line completely. You're putting him in as your starting left guard, eventually moving him out to left tackle if it works. The only problem we have got is he's got smaller arms. He's on the smaller arm side. I think he projects out as a left guard, and I think he's got the makings of a Pro Bowl, if not all-pro guard. And that then takes the pressure off Charles Leno as well. We know what Leno's got in the bag. I mean, I know he's costing a lot of money. I would have probably gone Anton Harrison here as well, potentially, to look at your left tackle of the future. I know the Burgundy Zone boys are high on him. I've watched a bit of tape from Kyle putting it out on Twitter on him as well. But for me, if Skoronski's on the board, you have to take him. I mean, most mock drafts that I've seen have had Skoronski going in the top 10. So before any other tackle's gone. So for me, I'm picking Skoronski at 16 if he's there.
Okay. Interesting.
On with you. What would you do there then? Let's break that down. What would you have done? if the board sits like that, would you have traded, or would you have took a
If
took
there
a
was
tackle?
if there was a trade option, I probably would trade down because I've got about 4 guys that's still on this list that I would really love to have. So I'd probably be looking at any trading with, maybe Tampa or something like that. But yeah, I mean, and I would be looking either at the tackle or still looking at a couple of cornerbacks are still there. Joey Porter's still on the board and stuff like that. So, yeah, but again, yeah, I mean, I'll be looking at the trade. If this board the way it was, I'd be looking at a trade down to maybe 19, 20, something like that.
And the Bleeding Burgundy Zone boys are going to be absolutely pissed off at me because they are in love. both of John and Jesse want Joey Porter Jr. So yeah, I know you're a Penn State fan, John. So yeah, apologies for that, but we've got to shore up that offensive line and keep Sam Howell on his feet.
And the problem you've got now is that the next pick from Pittsburgh is going to be Joey Porter.
Yeah, of course it is. It's the consensus pick. It's the sensible pick. Joey Porter Sr., obviously legend from the Steelers. Joey Porter Jr. as well. People have said that he's just he can't play man. He is he can play, and people have said Joey Porter Jr. can't play. Yeah, can't play man.
He can't play zone. That's what they're saying. Zone, he can't play zone.
Yeah. He can play both. He can play both.
Yeah.
He's very good.
He's played it a lot at Penn State as well, not just last year. He played it a few years before that as well. He knows what he's doing. These guys are a very good cornerback.
So it's back on the board with me and the Lions at 18, and I can't remember. We took Carter, didn't we, Jet? And we took Carter earlier on in the draft. So let's look at Denver's needs. So Denver have got
Detroit
even. Why am I saying? I'm getting confused. It's terrible. It's obviously been a long day. It's one of them. I'm too excited for the draft. That's what it is.
Sure.
We've took an edge, and the next big need for them is interior defensive line, but they have lost corner as well. So, I am not sure here. Do you double down on edge and take Lucas Van Ness? No, probably not, because you've got Aiden Hutchinson. Let's have a look at what we've got. Go on. You
No, it's fine, mate.
You can try and convince me.
No, it's fine.
What have we got? We have got Detroit interior defensive line. D tackles. What have we got? Brian Brazil. See, that's not good value there either. I think you've got to go best player available then, if that's the case. Jordan Addison. Yeah, possibly wide receiver. Yeah, I'm going to take Jordan Addison, maybe, I think, because you got Amara St. Brown out on one.
Okay.
I don't know who else they picked up.
I think you need a wide receiver, to be fair. I think you need.
Yeah, I think they do too. So Jordan Addison, he goes from USC at 18, and now we're at 19 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now this one's going to be the interesting one. This one's going to be.
I know where you're going here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's QB. Are you right with that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
QB, and it's our boy with the ACL problem.
It's Hendon Hooker.
QB from Tennessee. Yeah, I say they say he's going to be ready for the start of the season. He won't be ready, and you've got that other lad who's there now. He's there for one season.
It's Baker Mayfield.
That's it, Baker Mayfield. So he'll probably be he'll probably be the first half of the season starter, and Hooker probably be ready by then, and then it'll be Hooker's team. They needed a quarterback. It's just desperate measures. But Hooker is a very good quarterback. He's just a bit old for my liking. He's 25 years old. So, but very good player.
So we're on to 20 with the Seahawks then. I think were they a trade back? Or did we take the Seahawks?
No, they've already had it.
They
had 2 picks.
Yeah, they took Anthony Richardson. So looking back at the draft board here, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see they took Anthony Richardson at 5, and now they're in at 20. So what are you going to do there? Oh, it's me, actually. It's not
you, man. Yeah.
Oof, so they've already got their QB of the future, thanks to Scouse. Edge and interior defensive line. This is a no-brainer for me already. So you go in here, Lucas Van Ness. Edge
ahead of Miles Murphy. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Lucas Van Ness is better than Miles Murphy for me. I think he's got that length, that size, that bend that you want off the edge. Very good player. They are shoring it up there. You kind of looking at the Legion of Boom again, going on up at Seattle. Very good pick there. Very good pick for me. You're on the board then, Scouse, with the Chargers at 21, which is a tough pick, I think, here.
Yeah, the Chargers could go many positions. What have we got at defensive tackle? What have we got left there?
Let's have a look. Defense. So we're looking at DT. We have got Brian Brzee.
No.
Elijah Cansey's a good tackle.
Yeah, he's a second round talent. So for me,
are you going tight end?
Yes, I'm going to go tight end, and I'm going to go Michael Mayer.
Some people saying Michael Mayer is the top tight end on the board. What do you agree with that, Scouse?
I do. I think he's good. He's got the better all round game, personally, in my opinion. However, I do know some of these guys are more athletic than him. So Kincaid and even Darnell Washington's probably more physical. More kind of athletic. But again, Mayers, I think he's just like, I don't know why, but he reminds you of Chris Cooley a little bit. So
I'm on the board then at pick 22 with Baltimore, and they need edge, corner, and wide receiver. Miles Murphy is still there on the board. Best player available. It's a position of need. It has to be Miles Murphy, doesn't it? If this board, I think you sprint into the podium again with that one. Fantastic edge rusher. This is a really deep class this year for edge, for corner, and for tackle. So it's very interesting as to whereabouts they go. I'm looking at this as we look at this screen, and I keep seeing adverts for Aer Lingus. Yes, get me booked on soon. I need the schedule as soon as possible, please.
That's it, man.
So
that's it.
You're on the board then, Scouse, with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I think their biggest need is cornerback or wide receiver, and there's still some very good corners left on this board. I will be picking Deonte Banks, cornerback from Maryland.
Where is Deonte Banks? He is there.
Here he is.
20.
Yeah,
I like him better
than. He's ranked number 24 on the list, but I like him better than Cam Smith, and I like him better than Keely Ringo as well. So
for me, I think he's the best cornerback that was left on that board there. I think the whoever PFN, I think you're a bit off on your estimations, but I'm no GM, so you know what I mean. We're very good player out of Maryland. Obviously, we've had him in for a top 30 visit. It'd be interesting to see where he goes. Very, very good player. So I'm on with the Jags then. So my wife's Jacksonville Jaguars. And they need offensive tackle and edge. So where are we with tackles left? What has gone off the board now? So it'll be interesting to see where we are on offensive tackles.
Still some good players left.
Harrison's still there. Jones is still there. Cody Mock's a good player, but probably a bit too high for him there. Even Bergeron's a very good player out of Syracuse, but high-end second round, possibly third round for him. They need a right tackle. They've lost a couple in free agency. For me, it's DeJuan Jones. He goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you're up 25 with the New York Football Giants, as they call themselves. I understand that. I never understand why they put the football bit in there.
Trying to be different, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So who have we got? Because I think what they need two positions really. They need O-line and they need a wide receiver. But the best offensive lineman left there was Anton Harrison, and he's a left tackle, isn't he? So and they've got a good left tackle already. So I can't see them going left tackle again, Anton Harrison. So for me, wide receiver, what have we got?
Let's see what we've got. Wide receiver. Quentin Johnson's still there. Yeah. Zay Flowers out of Boston College is again very, very good. Toss up between them. I like Quentin Johnson a lot. I think he's very good.
Yeah. Let's put Quentin Johnson. Let's do that.
Okay. In the Burgundy Zone mock that we did last week, on their last show that came out last Thursday, I picked Quinton Johnson for the Cowboys at 26. And yeah, for me, if he was still on the board there, that is who I would have picked there, Scouse. So let's have a look at what Dallas's needs are. And hopefully it's a lot more than we think it is, because nobody likes the Cowboys. We've got interior offensive line, interior defensive line, and running back. Could a running back come off the board here? Second running back in the maybe.
Ooh,
maybe
Jameer Gibbs
not.
is decent.
He is
Jameer
good.
Gibbs
He
is
is very
very
good. He is very good. Let's have a look then. What am I doing for the Cowboys? And I can't be biased here. I've got to be very, I've got to do what I think
reasonable.
they would do.
Yeah.
Interior offensive line. Let's have a look at the interior offensive line and see what we've got left. Alternate offensive guard. Ooh, Cyrus Torrance is still there. Yeah, I'm going to take Cyrus Torrance from Florida,
Okay.
Florida Gator. Probably the most aggressive guard that's in the draft. He wants to throw people around, smash him in the dirt. Very good player, actually. He can play both sides as well. He can play both guard positions. So bit of positional flex there for the Cowboys. You're on the board then, Scouts, with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills, they need a couple of things, mostly O-line again and wide receiver. And I think I'm going to be picking Steve Avila.
Oh, no.
Buffalo. Yeah,
please, no, why?
Steve Avila, mate.
That's the guy I hope falls. I hope he falls into the second round.
Some people say he might go. Some people say he might go into the second, but to be fair, I think Buffalo will take him.
Very, very high RAS score. It was in the our RAS score was like almost a 10 in most places. Plug and play straight in as I think he plays left guard.
He's a left guard, but he also can play centre as well. So
yeah, he can. Yeah, you're right.
He'd be great for us. Right. He'd be great for us in the second if he's there, but
yeah,
unlikely he'll be there. To be fair.
So it's me then. I'm up with the Bengals. And,
I don't like this pick. I know what I'll do with this one.
So you know exactly where I'm probably going with this one with the Bengals. So let me.
Well, I know what I'm doing. I don't know what you do.
I'm going to take Anton Harrison here out of Oklahoma. Tackle.
No, that wasn't what I was going to do.
All right, dude. I think that's where I'm going to go.
It's your choice, man. It's your choice. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at
you chose them, man. You chose them.
I know. I'm looking at their needs here. They've got tight end, cornerback, and safety is their need. So, do you take Brian Branch here? Yeah, I could be tempted either way here. Anton, have they got? I mean,
got a left tackle?
No, because they've got a left tackle. So they signed Orlando Brown Jr. So that would be
why I wouldn't have picked him.
A pointless pick.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't have picked Allison. Yeah.
So this is a lesson to everybody. If you're watching on YouTube or even if you're listening, look at the board and don't pick by what your need is. But this is a position of need anyway and best player available. So Brian Branch goes to.
That's who I would have picked because they really, really need a safety. They've lost two starters to free agency, so that would have been my guy. Okay, so now the Saints, they need an edge or a defensive tackle. So who is on the?
Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith's still there.
So is Will McDonald, man. He's really good as well.
He is.
I like Will McDonald. Nolan Smith. Let's go Nolan Smith.
Yeah, good pick. For me, very good pick. That's exactly where I would have gone as well. So we're on with the Eagles again. And I think, did we not go Bijan? I mean, have they had a few picks here? Let me see. Let me go back to see what the Eagles have got.
Yeah,
Bijan Robinson at 10. Yeah, so they went Bijan Robinson at 10.
Philly was edge, wasn't it? Next one. Their next
yeah, I think their need was edge, yeah. So Foskey there as well. Let's have a look at the edge then. Let's go in the edge class and see what we've got still on the board. Will McDonald still there, as you just said. We've got BJ Ojulari still there from LSU and Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame. You call. It's me, isn't it? It's me to pick. Yeah. I thought it was you. I apologize, Scouse, profusely.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm going to take Will McDonald here.
Okay.
Yeah, out of Iowa State. Again, as we've said before, this edge class is one of the best that we've seen in years, really. Yeah, back to 30, back to 31 then. So we're all the way down the bottom end of the draft now with the Cardinals. Yeah, Arizona, who traded down to pick up an absolute haul from Kansas City.
Now, edge and cornerback are the main positions they need at this moment. So, cornerback, I don't really like Cam Smith that much, you know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's just not one of my guys. I mean, and Ringo as well is a bit. I mean, if you can scheme it well, you can get Ringo will do quite well for you. But okay, so let's go back to edge.
Yep.
Foskey in it. Foskey and who else? I don't think you'd go down to get someone like Foskey. I think you'd need a
Ojulari. We're struggling. We've had a lot of edge rushers go, haven't we?
Yeah. Okay, go back to corner. Corner.
Emmanuel Forbes is still there.
Ooh, yeah.
Brents is there as well. Very good. Yeah, I mean,
Brents would be hopefully touch wood in the second or third round for me, and that's I'd take him if we could as in us. Yeah, Emmanuel Forbes. Let's go with it.
Emmanuel Forbes. Let's have a look then. So that's us done. Emmanuel Forbes. And that is us done because Miami do not have a pick. Let's have a look at the full results here. So Bryce Young at 1, Will Anderson Jr. at 2, Kansas City trading into the third pick, the Arizona Cardinals with C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson going to the Seahawks at 5. I can't really scroll down. I don't know why. Let's have a look back. I'm not sure what it's doing here. But anyway, that is our attempt at a mock draft. At 16, I took Peter Skoronski. Thoughts on that one, Scouse, and how it all played out? Would you have?
There's a couple of ones that would have went differently, but I'm just trying to play for Kansas City. You know, if anyone can go up by that far, it's them because they are such a good team. They haven't got many holes, so. Being the Super Bowl contender every season, if anyone can afford to lose so many picks, it's them. So that's why I think they could do some damage and come further up and get a play that they really love.
Would you see anyone trading back into the first round? Like, could we potentially trade back into the first round if it rolled like it did there, and say Harrison is still on the board?
I mean, it's possible, but the way Mayhew's talking, that he always likes to trade back rather than trade up because he tends to do well, so it's not for me. I can't see us going up unless there's like an absolutely number one guy like that's like by far better than everybody else on their board that's dropped that far. There's just no way they'll come up otherwise.
Okay, then, Scouts. Well, cards on the table then. It's draft night. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a very, very late night for all of us in the UK.
Painful.
It's probably going to be a 6:30 finish. Yep. First pick is usually around about 1 a.m.
Might even be a little bit longer, mightn't it? Because it might be with all the build up and that. You might be looking at 1:20 or something like that for the first one. So
let's just hope they don't take their full allotted time.
but most of them do. If you notice that, they do right to the end. Even the number one pick, it's like you already know who they're getting. And they wait till like the last minute of the 10 minutes that they get. It's mad. It's like, mate, don't do that. But they've probably been told to do that though, haven't they, to make the show longer? So
I know. So lots and lots of WhatsApp messages will be exchanged later. But cards on the table now, Scouse. You're at 16. Firstly, what are you doing? And if you're staying at 16? Who are you picking? If you're trading back into the 20s or whatever it is, who are you picking then?
Well, I say it's so hard. It's so hard, isn't it? Because we have so many guys that would actually be really good for us. Brian Branch would be a great player for us as well, even though we left him and we haven't really spoke about him too much. Brian Branch is a great player, and he'd be great for us. But for me, if I'm staying at 16, realistically, it could be a Brian Branch. It could be Brian Branch. He could be picked at 16. But for me, I would rather be beefing up that left side of the O-line personally, because there is high level cornerbacks later on in the first or early second. There's still some quality dudes that, besides Gonzalez and the other chap, Witherspoon, besides them two, really, there's not a big drop between the rest, if that makes sense. No. So Deonte Banks and Forbes and all those guys, and Cam Smith, they're all much of muchness. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to go really high for those dudes. But I mean, I understand with, the Gonzalez and Witherspoon, but the other guys don't need to be like that. So for us, if we're there at 16, I go for the tackle, because the tackles are, as we looked at through this draft process and how your team needs, most teams need some sort of offensive line help.
Yeah.
So for me, the tackles are going to come off quite early, the good ones. So for me, get myself a tackle if I'm staying at 16.
So if your board sits the way it does and we get 4 quarterbacks, let's just say, go out of the top 10, and then tackles start to fall slightly into the teens and into our lap, if you had the choice of anybody, who are you picking?
Of any
yeah, of your tackles, are you going Paris Johnson straight away?
Yeah, I mean, Paris Johnson would be my number one left tackle, but realistically, he won't be there. No, there's no way he'll be going in the top 5 or 6, even if there is 4 quarterbacks gone in the first 10. So
I think he's the first off the board. I do think.
Yeah, who's a non-quarterback, probably. Yeah, probably. Or Will Anderson, maybe, though one of those two would be the first off the board who's not a quarterback. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, probably have to go. It's difficult, man, because I like a lot of guys. I really like Steve Avila. I do like him. But I'm not. But I'm not picking him at 16. There's no chance.
No.
So I'd probably be going to be going Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright's your pick.
Darnell Wright, if he's still there.
So for me, if it's 16 and this board has gone the way it goes, and Skoronski's gone, who I think they are very interested in, I think they're going to go Anton Harrison or DeJuan Jones, maybe. I don't know. But Anton Harrison, I think, is who they will pick. And if it was me and that was what was left, that's where I'd go as well, because you then have the upside of saying, right, well, we can cut Charles Leno if needs be, or ask him to take a restructure, and then he comes on a restructure and he becomes our new swing tackle. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Cornelius Lucas. He's been a solid player for us.
He is in his last year of his deal, and he's getting on.
Exactly, and that's an easy move as well to make. So somewhere along the line tonight, we will see where we end up, and there will be moves made, and it will tell us exactly where we want to be. If it's an interior offensive lineman that can play center, I'd be very interested to see what happens there, because as we know, our center prospects, all 3 of our starting centers, if you look at them that way, Chase Roulier, Gates, and your man, I can't remember his name, Tyler Larson. Thank you, Scouse. They were all injury prone, all pick up injuries, just can't stay healthy. So there's a cut potentially there in Chase Roulier.
And that's why I like Steve Avila, because he can play guard and he can play center at good level. So that's why I'd love him in the second round. I'd love him in the second round
100%.
If he's there.
100%.
Although in saying that, it depends on, I mean, my favorite actual center is John Michael Schmitz. I think he's going to be an absolute beast in this league. Again, he might go to the bottom of the first. He might come in at the end there. Like if KC don't physically go up, they might stay at 31 and pick someone like him up, because he's going to be, he will be a centerpiece for the next 15 years. That's how good he is. He is just that good. So, and we could use him, but 16's a bit
100%. I would, if he's available on day 2, he's in the second round, I would try.
Or if you're worried, if you start to worry that all the interior guys are going like towards the back end of the first round, then when you mentioned before, could you see us going up? That might be the one you might go up for, to try and get Schmitz before somebody else does. So that could be maybe, but we'll have to see how it goes. That's why the draft's so exciting, isn't it? It can go so many different ways, man. And we can be so far wrong. It's unreal, couldn't we? Let's face it.
So I'm looking forward to 5 hours of pain and torture, waiting for
Yep.
who goes
And
where.
Red Bull. And Red
It's
Bull.
yeah, it definitely does give you wins. Other energy drinks are available. We are not sponsored by them. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, I would have loved to have been with you on draft night, going out somewhere, seeing what's going on.
Good.
But one of them things, people aren't available, places aren't available. I'm not paying £30 to sit in a bar and watch it on a screen that you can't hear what's going on with loads of other people.
Of course, the problem is that it's the lateness of it. I mean, even casinos aren't open till 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning. You know what I mean?
We found that out, didn't we, last year?
Yeah, exactly. We lost the last 2 picks, and we were there all night. We give them a lot of money there, and
we
still kicked us out, and we still kicked them out. They kicked us out. Sorry. About 3 or 4 picks to go, wasn't it? So
we missed. I think we missed the last 4 picks, didn't we? I think we got kicked out just after 6, probably about 6:10, and I think it went on until about 6:30 the draft, didn't it? So I remember stumbling back to the hotel and looking and going, "Oh, these were the last 4 picks." But yeah,
yeah, exactly. You had to Google it. You know what I mean? Which was great.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, that's us then for this week's 1 Point Safety Show. We hope you enjoyed the draft.
Let's go, Commanders!
Looking forward to going back next week and seeing exactly what we've done, and we can break down all the prospects that we have picked, all the areas that we think. We can grade it as well next week. Hopefully have some guests on the show to go through us next week, because we've paused US Takeover Month. We will get them on next week. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. Really, really appreciate you all being on here. Last week's show with Rico was the highest rated show we've had so far. So it just proves that the YouTube people are out there in force. So thank you to Rico.
He's the man, isn't he? Let's face it.
He is the man. He is the man indeed. Big thanks to him again for being on with us last week, and all those who subscribed and asked questions. We really appreciate you. Thanks very much, Scouts, for being with me for this last hour or so. And we'll catch you next week.
Bye.